Hello and welcome to my channel. So today we're going to do something slightly different compared to what I normally do. I'm a little bit bored of pastry, so I am instead going to use up some of the mountain sausage meat I bought in the form of a Scotch egg. So I am still going to do an experiment today. And the experiment is how long should you boil an egg before putting it in a Scotch egg? Because I'll be honest, I love Scotch eggs. I don't think I've ever had one that still had a runny yolk. Every one you bought from the supermarket is boiled to death, and I don't think I've ever bought one from a pub or a restaurant, and I don't know why. So, first thing we're going to do is boil some eggs. I have, I'm going to do three. I'm going to do 5 minutes, 5 minutes 30, and 6 minutes, just to see if there is any noticeable difference. So I'm going to boil the eggs. I've got three water baths here, freezing cold water. I'm not going to bore you with the boiling of the egg. We'll get them boiled, and that'll be step one. And then we'll come back and start with the sausage meat. Okay, welcome back. So we've done a few things. We've divided the sausage meat up into four. They worked out about 101 grams each. I've let them chill in the fridge for about 15-20 minutes. I had the eggs in the fridge as well. I've deshelled them. That's not what you're here to see. So I've done them. So we've got the 5 minutes, 5 minutes 30, and the 6 minutes. And what I've done is I've created something which I believe is called a pannier station, because we need to put breadcrumbs on our eggs. So I've got flour, eggs, and I've got golden breadcrumbs here. I don't know if this is going to be enough. I've never done this before. I have more of each, so I can just turn the camera off and do more if need be. So what we need to do first is get these little sausage balls and flatten them. So I've got a bit of parchment paper, or greaseproof paper here. I'm just going to push down, a bit like a smash burger. Now, I've covered my chopping board because I really do not like the idea of having raw meat pushed into the chopping board. And I quite like this chopping board. So, there we go, I'm quite happy with that. So we've created the burger kind of thing. The first thing we need to do is we need to make sure the sausage connects to the egg. So we're actually going to take the egg and we're going to roll it in a little bit of flour. Now, you don't have to do this. From what I can tell from online, this is a good little technique. And I'm all about good little techniques. Trying to learn here. Yeah. So, I'm going to wrap up the sausage. Sorry, I'm going to wrap up the egg with the sausage. I possibly have made it a little bit too thin. That's not a problem. Never going to get a uniform finish on this. There's going to be some bits. Okay. This is sticking a bit more than I'd hoped. Maybe I pushed down a little bit too hard. Not the end of the world. Okay. So now we just need to try and seal up the sausage. Doesn't have to be perfect, as I say, but let's make sure there's no egg white showing through. Okay. So that seems to be dead easy. Let's just do a double check. Okay, I'm happy with that. So, next stage, we need to, again, run this through flour. The flour is that's as a, I don't know how to describe it, because it's not the glue, because that's what the egg is for. But it is a critical step. Now, if I didn't look this up in advance, I probably wouldn't, if I was doing it from memory or doing it from just what I think should be done, I probably wouldn't have put flour on. And I'd be wondering why everything was falling apart. Okay. So we'll keep that quite light. And then we'll go into the egg. I've seen this called a couple of different things. They're called a breading station and a pannier station. Pannier sounds dead posh, doesn't it? Yep, and then we'll get it over into the breadcrumbs themselves. We want a good coating on this. Again, we don't want to be seeing the sausage meat throughout. Well, I don't feel it's the end of the world if we are seeing the odd little bit. When you get down to it, anything that's not covered in breadcrumbs will become a little bit crispy, hopefully. And there's far worse things in life than that. Okay. So there we have our Scotch egg ready to go into the air fryer. So the way I'm going to do this is I don't know what's going to work. So I'm going to do this by itself for about 15 minutes at 190 degrees. Now, depending on how that comes out, I have enough stuff where I can abandon not abandon the experiment, I can rejig the experiment. I've got room for a spare issue here. But we're going to get this in, and then we'll see where we are, and then we'll continue with the experiment. We're back. I'm actually quite excited about this. So just as a reminder, this is the egg that was boiled for 5 minutes. I've cooked it for 15 minutes at 190. I've let it cool for 5 minutes. So let's see what's happened with this. That's not bad. Not bad at all, if I do say so. Very runny. Cooked, but very runny. Let's try this. What I've been waiting for years, I feel. That is fantastic. Now, I suppose I should talk more. The egg white probably could do with another. It's edible. I'm not going to die. But I can understand some people might not be happy with that. Now, because I'm in the UK, there's no real risk of salmonella. But I will say, if I was served this, while I'd be happy with the taste, I would be a little bit. I don't think I'd be 100% on the egg. A couple of other observations. Some of the sausage fat did come through the batter, which isn't a bad thing. But if I want to contain it, it might be worth double panning, get a double layer of breadcrumbs. And that could be something for a different day, though. Now I'm just going to pick out and eat at least half of this. But yeah, you can kind of see that that's a bit softer than is ideal. But it's okay. That's why we're experimenting. Now, this is, as I say, the first time I've had a runny egg, Scotch egg. And it's a thing of beauty, taste-wise. Seasoning is perfect. I mean, you obviously season it how you like, with the pepper comes through, a little bit of the sage. It's dead. I mean, it was always going to be very savoury. That could also be the MSG cooking in. There's a slight smokiness of the paprika. That's a really well balanced flavour. The richness of the egg, which is of the egg yolk, I should say, is just a perfect complement. Now, a lot of the recipes I read were suggesting using a spree oil, but I don't see the benefit. I don't think it'll make much of a difference. But I do know that traditionally these are deep fried. I don't think I know anyone who has a deep fryer. So I think I'm proving that it's doable. Right, so what we're going to do next, I've prepared the other 2 eggs. There's our 5:30 and there's our 6 minutes. We'll see if the extra 30 seconds do anything. So I'm going to do these one at a time. So we'll come back once we've got the the 5 minutes 15 one to cook cooked. I'll be doing the exact same timings, at the exact same temperature. So we'll be back shortly, and we're back. So we've got our next experiment. This is the well, that was cooked for 5 minutes 50, and then it's been cooked at the same rates as everything else. Again, some of the sausage fat has come out. I'm definitely thinking about that double pan here. But here's a moment of truth. Oh, runny again. So is there any difference in the egg yolk? Marginal. I mean, we've got to, don't we? Now, again, it's not. I feel like that egg white could have taken another minute or two. Not a minute or two, but a bit more time. So let's get a 6 minute in. Hopefully that'll make the difference. Now we're back for the final taste test. Now before we go on, an interesting thing has occurred. So this is the previous experiment, and after it's just been left, the white. This is about 15, 20 minutes later. The white is no longer liquid. Interesting. Maybe I just need to leave it for longer. But anywho, we have our third option. This is the one that was boiled for 6 minutes. Let's have a look. Right. Okay. So again, liquid. And see that some of the yolk is starting to go solid.
And guess whose mic went again? So, all you're going to miss is me making appreciative sounds. You've had enough of that, I think, anyway. So, taste-wise, pretty much the same. Texturally, though, the egg white is slightly firmer. It's less distracting. The yolk is still runny. I think it's what chefs call jammy. So it's a bit sticky, sticks to your teeth and that. So that I feel is the better of the experiments. So if you're going to follow this method, I would recommend the 6 minutes. Now, you could, of course, do it for longer if a runny egg isn't your thing. Do it for less if you want it runnier. But for me, the sweet spot is that 6 minutes. I did repeat the experiment. It came out exactly the same. So I did have an extra 100 grams of sausage. But anyway, we're coming up to the end of the video. So let me know if you've tried these, if you like Scotch eggs, if there's anything you'd like us to do. And I'll see you next time. Like and subscribe.